So David's my name. And
David. How are you, David?
good.
Mick.
So is it Mick or Mike?
Oh, look, I get called Mick a lot. I'm actually a Mike, though, you know.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name's David, as I said, and I'm the product designer, and I'm the manager, I'm the owner, I'm the fixer, I'm the everything for Coolabah.
Coolabah. Yep.
So we're a sleeper cab air conditioner that we make in Sydney, Australia, and
Yep.
we fit them to most of the trucks you see, like like brand new trucks, second-hand trucks, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing this to try and raise a bit of awareness in the trucking industry regarding what's happening at the moment and how it's affecting our.
Yep.
Whereabouts do you normally work?
I'm based in Sydney.
Yep.
On the south side of Sydney, and I work mostly up and down the east coast of Australia, all the way from Townsville down to Melbourne, and we go as far west as Alice Springs. Last time I was out to Alice, it was last December.
Okay.
So we have regular runs all over the country, and I do a bit of everything. I don't have a set run, so I've just gone on leave for 2 weeks.
So your general freight, would you say, or special?
No, tankers.
Okay, tankers.
Yeah, we cart mostly hazardous freight.
Yep.
So mostly Class 8 corrosives, and we cart water treatment chemicals as well, which are non-DG chemicals usually.
Okay.
Although some of the water treatment chemicals are acids and things like that they use to adjust the acid-base balance of water through the treatment system.
Okay, gotcha. And how do you find that this COVID-19 has affected you personally so far? I mean, obviously, I've got a lot of friends in the industry, and some are saying that they're a lot busier, some are saying that they're not so busy. How's it affected you so far?
Well, the company that I work for doesn't seem to have slowed down very much. But having said that, as I said, we cart water. We cart a lot of chemicals that treat water. So things that go into sewage systems and water treatment plants, and as well as other industrial chemicals. So while the industrial side of things may slow down, the water treatment part probably won't, because people still flush the toilet, people still drink water, so, in that regard, we're probably a little bit protected. But in other areas of the business, chemicals that we might use, for example, for manufacture of concrete and cement products and all that sort of thing, that area might slow down. But that's above my pay grade. I just drive.
Yep, gotcha. So your workload hasn't increased or decreased as such. You're still doing your day-to-day work that you've been normally doing. It hasn't really changed.
Not for me, it hasn't. That doesn't say that it hasn't for other guys. Some of the other guys are saying it's a little bit quiet. On the road.
There's obviously some things that are changing. I mean, obviously, you must be enjoying the less cars on the road, surely.
Oh, look, I don't know. I tend to have a more pragmatic view about the whole thing and about the whole approach to it. I'm pretty much on the record of being someone that thinks that perhaps we might have been better off had we taken a more of a Sweden approach to the whole thing rather than a lockdown approach.
Right.
I don't want to be too controversial in our conversation.
Oh, look, mate, everybody's got their own views. I personally thought we should have just put the pause button on, don't pay any bills, don't get charged anything. Everybody gets a food voucher, and that's it.
Yes.
Stop for a month, get back to work. But that's my.
If that's the way, look, and 100%, if that was the way it was going to work, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
I really would. If we could just say, okay, fine, let's hit the pause button on 2020. We don't like the trial run, and we'll go straight to 2021, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd be quite happy with that. But the reality of it is, for a lot of people, I don't think that's the way it is going to work.
No, not
You
at
know,
all.
and, I used to have my own business. I used to own 5 prime movers. I used to employ drivers. I had 11 sets of trailers. I had subcontractors who worked for me. I had everything going for me. I had a business and all the rest of it. And so I know what it's like to be sitting in the chair where you're worried about, the cash flow and the work and all that sort of stuff, and trying to find the money to pay BP because they won't wait, and trying to find the money to pay for the repairs on your gear and all that, because that doesn't happen. And if you don't make money, you don't have turnover, you can't pay your wages and all that sort of stuff. So for me, it's not a big leap to think about the young bloke with a young family who's poured all of his work into his little restaurant, for example, that he's just opened. And, he's got staff that are working for him. He's got all that stock that he's bought, all that food that's in the fridge and the freezer, all the wine and the beer and the stuff that's in the bar, all this money for rent and all that sort of stuff. And, the bureaucratic rubbish that he's had to go through to set his business up. And now the government says to him, well, you've got to close your business now and go home and suck it up, son.
Mm.
And I really feel sorry for that bloke because everything that he's worked for now has the potential to be destroyed. And the longer it goes on for, the worse it's going to be for him. And I think people are fooling themselves if they don't think that there's not a certain amount of pressure on him from, the one who loves him most, his mum and his missus and all that. Everyone's got their issues. So I just have the view that if we could do what you said, hit pause, no one pays any bills, the bank doesn't charge any interest, and then we agree that in 3 months' time we restart or whatever it is, and we just do what we can up until then, that's fine. I'd be 100% behind that. But I just can't, it's not going to happen that way.
No.
And that poor young fella that put all his work into his business is going to be the one that pays for it for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And
I think we're all going to be paying. I think we're all going to be paying.
Yeah. I'm going to be paying for a lot less than he will, though.
Yes, yeah.
Because I'm closer to the end of the road than I am to the,
Yes.
And that's the pragmatic view that I take.
Yeah.
So
I find with our work, like before, let's call it the slowdown, right? Before the slowdown, we were selling probably about 30 to 32 to 35 sometimes a month units.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we sell to other fitters as well. So we've got agents in Melbourne, we've got agents in Adelaide, we've got Perth, Melbourne. We've got Toowoomba. So we've got people that we send stuff to, but we fit ourselves as well. And before the slowdown, we were doing about between 32 and 35 a month. And last month we did 12, and this month so far, well, it's only started, but it's not looking really good. The phone's not even ringing. Normally, because everybody's on account, they all ring you in the first week and say, right, send me this, and this. And then you don't open them for the rest of the 3 weeks of that month because they're the beginning of the next month to place the order. So the other thing also is that we're finding that people are slow in paying. So where normally you would be getting paid, like at the end of the month, you're getting paid for the month before, right?
Yes.
Now it's, how are you going? What's like, it's coming. I'm just waiting for some money, it's a lot of excuses, and we're still waiting for, for a certain amount of payments to be done.
Which affects your cash flow.
And that's my money that I used to buy stock, but, I'm not selling any, so maybe I don't need to buy it. So, we'll see where we go. But on top of that, you've got, like we've got 20 guys. And wages for 20 guys is, as you probably understand, it's probably about 25 grand a week, plus superannuation, workers' comp, rent, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
And that doesn't stop. You still got to keep.
No.
So,
But there's all the other things as well. There's the superannuation, there's the PAYG, there's the work cover insurance, there's it just adds on and adds on, and that goes back to my point and yours, that I don't know a business that has the cash reserve to last for 3 months.
No.
They just can't do it.
No.
And so what's going to happen is that you're going to end up with businesses like yours, and you're in a niche market. You're competing with Visa and IcePack and, Eco Wind and all those sort of people. I know who you are.
Okay.
And I know the market that you're in, and it's a bloody competitive market.
Yes.
And in Australia, it's compared to other places, it's a small market.
Yes.
So you've sort of got to keep your slice. And the fact of the matter is that, without knowing too much about what you do and how you do it, there are other choices.
Yes, and that's what I'm having to do lately. I've actually brought in work that people, like you got acquaintances, right? And they know you're an electrician, for example. And they go, "Oh man, I've got a truck. I want you to rewire for me, and I want you to do this, and I want you." And because I'm busy, I always say, "Oh yeah, bring one day. I'll tell you when to bring it in." Well, now I'm ringing them. Hey, that truck?
Where's that truck?
Rewired? You want to bring it in, mate? Lucky, a guy brought in an old Dodge 454, I think it is, and he said to me, he goes, "Mate, go to town. I want it fully rewired. I want the engine done. I want the brakes done. I'm like, godsend. Thank you so much.
That's
going to keep us going for another 3-4 weeks. So hopefully, it won't keep the whole of us going, but 2 or 3 guys, it'll keep them going for 2-3 weeks. But at least we've got something coming in. So.
Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard.
Sorry?
Sorry?
I was going to say, how's your family coping? You know what I mean? Like
the family's all right.
Yeah.
Rose is out the back doing some gardening, and she's digging a hole, but she's not telling me what she's going to plant. That's a joke. It's hard. That's another aspect of this. This puts strain on everyone.
Yes.
There's only so much Netflix and chill you can do, And
I'm fighting a lot with my wife and my kids.
You're fighting with them.
And I'm doing other things with them that I haven't done for years. Like my daughter asked me to play some chess with her, so I was playing some chess with her. So it's changed a lot of things that I normally would do. Like normally I'd just come home and I'd just hang out and go to bed or whatever, watch a bit of telly or work on something from work. But anyway, now I'm finding that my kids are demanding a little bit more of me, and my wife, we're clashing a bit more. But anyway.
Well, I don't know. My brother said to me the other day, and I'm not sure whether he was joking or not, because he's a driver as well. And he said to me the other day, I got home earlier and there was this woman sitting on the couch. So I sat down and had a chat with her, and turns out I'm married to her. She's not a bad bird.
I think I was joking, right?
I laughed.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. But hey, you know what? It's bringing out funny things in people, or things that, I've heard of people actually getting divorced because of the fact that they didn't really know each other before. And now that they're spending so much time together, they don't like each other. Or on the opposite.
That could happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unintended consequences, I think, to what's going on, I'm afraid. And, not least of all the economic issues for the businesses, not least of all the people being locked up. I wonder what people that are on their own are going through.
Oh.
I spend a lot of time on my own in the cab of the truck. Most of the week I'm in the truck.
Yeah. And
I'm happy with my own company.
Yeah.
But I spend a lot of time on the phone too. And there are people that you talk to, your friends, I have a support network that I sort of communicate with. And I just wonder what's happening to people that don't have that support network for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That they're socially isolated. And I would say to anyone, I think, make sure that the old lady that lived next door is okay.
Yes.
That sort of thing. because, you know, they're the people that really suffer from this, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to my daughter before, and I was saying I'm actually spending more time with my mum and dad just talking
Yeah.
over the fence because I don't want to
Yeah.
introduce anything
Yeah,
to
yeah.
them. I'm actually spending more time with my mum and dad now than I have. Like before, I used to go, 2 weeks without talking to them because, work gets in the way, let's say that. Whereas now
Yeah,
I'm making an effort to go and see
yeah.
them to make sure they're all right.
Yes.
And to,
Yeah. And that's not a bad thing.
yeah, it's not a
That
bad
is not a bad thing.
Mm. I mean, there's a
But,
lot of things that are changing for the good too. The environment, I think, is saying thank you. Like there's a lot
yeah.
less pollution in the air. Anyway, I think there's a
Oh,
good.
look, it's all swings and roundabouts. It really is. But, from a work point of view, like you said, there's less traffic on the road, and that's okay. But having said that, there are border checkpoints now, which I never ever thought I would see in Australia.
Yes.
You're trying to go from New South Wales to Queensland, there are roadblocks now.
Yes.
And you have to have a valid reason to be in the car. Or in the trucks are not quite so bad because obviously we're there for a reason, we're not playing.
Yeah.
But, I never ever thought I'd see the day where I'd see armed police at a roadblock to stop people crossing a border in Australia.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you see some of the things that are happening overseas in Italy, Spain, and US.
Yeah.
You think, what? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also things that are happening here that are obviously different to what normally happens.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It just makes it hard. It makes it hard to understand. And then there's the conflicting messages that are coming from the government about what we can do and what we can't do.
Yes.
And I think that then there are a whole lot of other. Look, if you're given the choice between cock up and stuff up, and planning, I think that our government is more, well, to use an Americanism, it's more Veep than House of Cards. Like they, I don't believe that our politicians are that smart that they can sit there and work out the moves 10 in advance.
No,
I think
they're just
they're just making it up as they go along.
Exactly.
And we've had the situation here now. The video that you saw, probably I know that you saw that I did, that ended up with over 300 and something thousand views, which was basically me going off my chops
because you couldn't
people were. Well, but that wasn't me. That was just other guys. See, for me, I live in a very different world to a lot of other truck drivers.
Yeah.
And I have a excuse me. I have a top quality truck to drive. I have plenty of space. I've got everything I need in that truck. The only thing I don't have in there is a toilet, and I don't have a shower. But I do have a fridge. I do have a microwave. I do have a big sleeper area. And I do have the ability to stop on the side of the road and make myself a cup of coffee if I want to, or a meal, or whatever I want. My other half pre-prepares meals for me, which I take with me in the truck.
Yep.
And so I don't have to go inside a roadhouse other than to get fuel or have a shower or something like that. But there are a lot of other guys who don't have that level of freedom.
Yep.
And so they get stuck with a situation where, they have to buy the fast food, or they have to go into a roadhouse to get a meal, or whatever. Guys that drive company trucks that they might drive for a shift or two, guys doing changeovers and all that sort of stuff. They've got to get a meal somewhere.
Yeah.
And, God forbid they might have to use a bathroom somewhere.
Or a shower.
And unfortunately, the situation that we had here in Australia last week was such that, all the fast food joints were closing their doors. And the particular one that I was talking about is on the M4 motorway in Sydney. And it is a transport service centre
Yeah.
So trucks go in there to get fuel and all the rest of it. And there's a parking area down beside where these fast food joints are for the truck drivers to park their trucks while they go over and get a meal.
Yeah.
So the rules are that you're not allowed to be served in the drive-through as a walk-up. You can't walk up to the drive-through window and get served. And you can't walk into the place because they've closed the doors. And that's understandable. But there's no way then that a bloke, you can't drive his truck through the drive-through.
You'd have to possibly ask somebody in a car to drive through and get your food.
Yeah, and by the all right. And then they were complaining about that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they were complaining about, because, you know, and that just, I mean, I don't know if you've had a look at what I do on social media or anything like that, but I sound off about things that crumb my cookies, right?
Yep.
And the more crumb they are, the more angry I am about it. And I do these videos unscripted, and I do them in one take.
Yeah.
So that's pure unvarnished Mick, right?
Yeah. No.
Pure unvarnished Mick.
No rehearsals.
Sometimes, and I very rarely listen back to these things before I post them. I'm usually that, you know, I hit sand, you know.
Hey,
sometimes that's.
Do you think there's anything?
Not good.
Do you think there's other things that maybe the government can do to help? You know, I mean, now we realise how important truck drivers are, right? In this time.
Yes. Yes.
Is there things that the government can help, you know, like to make things easier for truck drivers, like the logbooks? I know the logbooks, people, I hear people whinge about the logbooks all day and every day. You know, like.
Well, look, I don't. If you want to see the logbooks change, you're talking to the wrong bloke.
Yeah.
Because I don't have.
I'm just saying, is there a better way? You know.
Yeah. No. All right. Now, what I mean to say is that you misunderstood what I've said. I don't think. I agree that we have to have logbooks. Yes. I agree that we have to have some method of controlling how much time drivers spend behind the wheel of heavy vehicles.
Yes.
And on the road. Now, I don't, and that's not because it limits the drivers, it's because it protects the drivers from the unscrupulous employers who then say, go and do that job, and if you don't get it done, you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens then is that
legislation towards, like, for example, going back to what I do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it should be just compulsory that you've got to have something so that you can get a good night's sleep.
I agree. And one of the things that makes my truck so livable is I can do that.
Yep.
I can pull up on the side of the road. I can turn on my engine off air conditioning system.
Yep. And
have a good night's sleep. If it's 40 degrees, you know, I can still have a good night's sleep in a cool environment.
Yep, yep.
And as you say, these things should be legislated and they should be mandatory. The fact of the matter is, on the subject that you're alluding to, I think, it's illegal to leave a child in a locked car on a hot day.
Mm.
It's illegal to leave a dog in a hot car on a hot day.
Yeah.
But it's not illegal to make a truck driver sleep in a hot truck on a hot day.
That's right.
And I cannot see for the life of me why it's not an occupational health and safety issue to require trucks that require drivers to stay in them to have an engine off air conditioning system.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and that's what it comes down to. I should be able to be able to sleep comfortably in the truck no matter what the temperature is outside.
Yeah. And
I think that extends to cold as well. Europe has a different problem than us. They have in North America with the cold conditions and the snow and everything like that. They have to have warmers and, you know, what they call the APUs for the warming and all that sort of stuff. We don't tend to go for that down here.
Oh no,
I'll tell you what, there's not.
We've implemented it in our system. So our system comes. Comes standard with heating.
Okay.
And because we've got it as a standard, there's also now other companies that are starting to include it as well, right? because you wouldn't
Yeah.
believe how cold it gets in some of the places in Australia. I'm talking like, you know, Tamworth.
Oh,
and
mate,
Tumut. Yeah, you probably
I know.
know. Yeah, yeah,
I've sat up at Oberon, which is up in the Blue
yeah,
Mountains,
yeah.
back in the day when I was doing general,
Yeah.
right? Up at Oberon in the Blue Mountains, gone to sleep. Yes, it's cold, but woken up at 4 a.m. with 2 inches of snow on the bonnet.
Yeah.
You know, it gets cold. I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Regarding safety, with regards to the
Yep.
COVID-19, I'm just trying to stick to the one subject, like as in with the COVID-19, with safety.
Yeah, sure.
Do you guys find that when you're delivering and walking up to somebody with a parcel, I mean, not so much you probably because you're more industrial, but when you're walking up, do they look at you like you've got the plague?
They do. Yeah.
Because
That is happening. I've had last week people back away from you.
Yeah. And I know the driver, the delivery driver that we've got that brings our goods, and I was talking to him yesterday, and he said to me, mate, they see you coming and they walk the other way instead of coming up to you so that they can get the goods and sign for it. And, you know, he goes, thank God we don't even have to get them to sign anymore. He goes, but at least, you know, acknowledge that you've got the goods and walk away with the goods. But people just run the other way. It's like he's bringing the plague with him, you know. But it's happening. It's happening.
I did a minute with Mick last week, and where I said I'm fed up with being treated like a rabid dog. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a disagreement with some people at one of the BP service stations where we fuel up, and they decided that they weren't going to let anyone. They had closed their restaurant. You know, they had one shower which was available for truck drivers, but it was closed for cleaning at the time.
Wow.
And you know, and just the way they were speaking to you there, you know, with the face mask and the rubber gloves on and the whole thing. And I'm afraid I did tell the bloke what I thought about it. I did tell him I thought this was all bullshit, because I've seen some showers in roadhouses, seriously, that perhaps you might have been safer not going in the first place. And that tends to be the level of cleanliness of some places. And yet now all of a sudden, I'm just wondering whether we're going to have to go back to dirty showers and toilets and that when this is all over, or they're going to keep
not because
cleaning them.
it looks good now, doesn't it? All these showers look good, clean, don't they? So I hope not. I hope at least we've learned how to.
Yeah, no, well, it's come to something when it takes something like this to teach the dirty people that they need to wash their hands.
Yes.
You know, it's a bit of a surprise.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, mate, listen, if there's anything that myself or Coolabah can do to help you guys, like as in the trucking industry, you know, in any way. I mean, this is why we're doing this, right? To bring a bit of awareness to the industry and try and get, you know, people talking about the issues that they're going through with this COVID-19 and what hardships or good things that are happening as well. But if there's anything we can do, mate, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, just let me know, and we will try our best to help.
All right. No worries at all. It's been great to talk to you.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was really, really pleasant. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we can catch up.
That's all right. My pleasure.
No worries, buddy.
No worries, mate. And when I start doing the trucking podcast, I'm thinking about I'll get you on. I'll give you a free ad.
Oh, good on you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, buddy.
Oz Trucker endorsement, mate.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Catch you later.
It's all about communication and letting people know what's going on. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're welcome.
See you later. Bye. Bye.